Speaking of Ganguly and advertisements, I saw that ad. I'm forgetting the name of the banyan, but uh, he
Even he
released
has
it.
forgotten it.
I don't think he doesn't
Forgotten
remember.
it. He doesn't
It was
remember.
on the same day that we had that entire crowd problem in the game, and he was like, "No comment on that."
Hyderabad,
He
yeah.
just released his banyan ad, and I was like, "Wow, man!"
It's a story of vested interest, Zainab.
Oh,
Amazing.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review. Can we rock and roll, please?
Hello, and welcome to episode 41 of Bits and Pieces. 41, of course, is the answer to life, the universe, and whatever the hell happened to Rohit Sharma's hair. For everything else, there's Douglas Adams, and next week, I'm Srinath Sripath, your host for the episode, while Podfather Tony is away, and while some other esteemed panel members are resting for the warm-ups this week. Joining us, sleepless in Seattle on a Saturday night, once upon a stick comic artist, master of mookhouse, but before they became a big deal, the cartographer who's also our moral compass. Say hello, Cart.
Hello, everyone. And tonight I'm mourning the Seattle Mariners spectacularly being ejected from the playoffs. So I'm all cricket again. So
Busy watching the warm-ups because the baseball's not going well. Very, very proper bits and pieces cricket fan. Over to continent number 3, back in Australia after whirlwind ventures into Vietnam. The man who hates the IPL, asterisk, conditions apply, but loves T20. The man who's going to be trotting around Straya over the next few weeks, taking in plenty of T20 World Cup scenes. All the way from Melbourne. Say hello, MohanK.
Hey, Srinath. Good to be here again after a short break. And yeah, I'm not going to going around Australia, but I'll definitely see all the games in Melbourne.
We will talk about that. We'll talk about more important things as well, like the photo shoot for the start of the World Cup and the Babar Azam birthday wish, for which we've got some in-house expert company. We'll get to that. But from the MCG to the playgrounds of Malad, from idyllic surrounds to idly-filled surrounds, not much cricket escapes his attention. And thanks to the packed FTP, we've been managing his workload over the past few months to have him fresh and ready for the T20 World Cup. Originally of Bits and Pieces, the wisecrap that now hosts bigger pods on bigger platforms. Welcome back, Kaus.
what a lofty intro, man. Yeah, good to be back. It's we are properly testing our bench strength also. I'm seeing whether I have warmed up enough for the warm-up games before the World Cup. Let's see.
Lofty intro on the day of Lofty Eton.
Man who's introduced himself already. No such thing as rest or workload management for the machine, the giver of broadsides, the sanity and knowledge corner of the spot the rest of us look up to. Welcome back again, Chops. El Chopper Nose, aka Abhishek Chopra.
Thank you, Srinath Garu.
are you going to take that lying down? He's calling you the Sri Lanka of our pod. He's saying anybody wants a series, you're ready.
I mean, the Asia Cup winners, so yeah, and they're
Yeah, I
not having
suppose.
a particularly bad day, so it's
And
good.
And the other thing I'm not quite appreciating is this constant dig at workload management. We'll come to that a bit later.
We will come to that as well.
Yeah, we have a brand new guest on our podcast today. Very, very pleased to have Zainub Razvi from Karachi all the way to Saudi Arabia and now in Canada, who is the inventor of a famous term on Pakistan cricket Twitter called Batriarchy. She'll tell us all about it. And she's firmly the captain of the anti-Shoaib Malik camp. She has a piece on a long-lost corner of Cricinfo called Different Strokes. And she's also the self-proclaimed expert on cricketers' haircuts through the ages. Zainab, very glad to have you on the pod.
Thank you for that introduction. I'm glad to join you guys, and it's almost 2 a.m. in Ottawa, so excuse any slip of tongues or anything else.
I think you'll still sound saner than most of us do at 2 p.m. Forget about it. To 2 p.m., 2 a.m. Sorry.
Already.
Yeah, going meta as the flavor of the week. So anyway, I actually had an intro for Zainab, and it was basically her Twitter bio, which sounds eerily familiar to this pod. Recliner expert, small account, stats ka ratta, cricket illiterate. That's like 3 out of 4 apply to us, except that we get our
Those-
stats wrong as well sometimes.
Those are all insults that have been given to me at various times on cricket Twitter. So I've made it this tradition that I now embrace them and add them to my bio.
Yeah, I once used to have a total tit on my profile because Bumble called me that once in his replies.
Was he paying you a compliment at that time?
No, I called him out because he had said something about Javagal Srinath and I couldn't take it lying down. So that's what
How
happened.
dare he? Yeah.
Exactly.
Did he tag you saying it's Javagal Srinath? That also happened.
He
Javagal Srinath Sripath. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So
Well done.
Zainab, very, very familiar, very apt place to be, except we don't take it as insults at all because that's who we've been over 40 episodes now.
these aren't insults. They are badges of honor, actually.
Let's start off in Sylhet, maybe. I think with the Women's Asia Cup and the scenes. I don't want to put you on the spot, Zainab, to start off, but we'll go from the final and then back to the semi.
Yeah, I mean, it was a heartbreak to lose it by 1 run, but I don't follow the women's team as intensely and closely as the men's team. But it was, after how the tournament started, they lost out to Thailand in the first game, and you know how it women's cricket is in the subcontinent. There's always these ignorant folks who are always questioning why the team should even exist and so on and so forth. And to come back from all of that and to beat India and have that entire run. But it just seems like it was another episode in one of those journeys of Pakistan cricket fans where it seems that heartbreak is our destiny, and I don't know when that will come out of that, as a fan, when that Sadma phase will end. But apart from that, it's the girls don't get to play a lot of cricket, so the fact that they were so competitive and they made such a good comeback, and Dada was exceptional, and there were lots of positives to take from it. So yeah, but the nature of the loss is going to always be, it's going to. I don't want to talk about it. It's taken a lot of coping to get over it and to phase myself out of it. So yeah, it was. I'm trying only to think about the positives. We beat India. We made 5. We were very competitive in the final. We won 5 games after coming back from losing to Thailand. So yeah,
we keep talking about it, right? Like whenever India loses and we see the reactions, we envy Pakistan cricket Twitter for being able to take it in a way that it's you're ready to be funny and self-deprecating almost as soon as it happens. I mean, it's your way of coping with grief is like some sort of envy on the other side of the border, definitely. And I think I speak for the panel.
Oh yeah, we're very good at that, and we admittedly we have a lot of practice. Losing to India, especially in the World Cup. We've broken that now curse almost last time. But generally, I think humor has been a coping strategy for Pakistani fans, and Pakistani memes are elite. I think I don't know how true it is or not, but I read on Twitter that there was maybe a Turkish diplomat or somebody who said that Pakistani memes are like a kind of soft power, and cricket memes in particular are one niche of that. And it's what makes it possible to retain your sanity and still support Pakistan cricket because of that humor. Otherwise, it would be. I mean, how can you survive 6 consecutive losses to India? So many heartbreaks. Our test record in Australia. I mean. The only way we can do this is through humor.
I wish we had that, not just the memes, but the ability to cope with losses in the way that Pakistan cricket does in the 90s. Many of us suffered in the 90s, suffered through the 90s, where we thought we had a wonderful team, but we kept losing. Unbelievably, we kept losing, and we didn't have that. I mean, at least the crowd that I hung out with, and we didn't have Twitter, of course, those days. The crowd I hung out with didn't quite have that humor that Pakistan cricket or Twitter cricket seems to possess. So good luck, and I enjoy it.
I think TLDR Mohan, in the 90s, you had the teams, you didn't have the memes. That's the problem.
Oh.
but to Zainab's point, are you kidding? Like the memes coming out of Pakistan cricket, whether it's the men's team or the women's team, those are the greatest thing about Pakistan cricket. It's like the reason that I think a bunch of us look forward to in general Pakistan games and India Pakistan games in specific at world events is because of the memes. Like we don't. Let me speak for myself. I don't actually even care about the result at the end of the day. I'm just waiting for the memes to start. It's like, okay, if Pakistan wins, the memes will be lit. If Pakistan loses, the memes will be even more lit.
Exactly.
And I think the amazing thing for Indian fans is that the memes are all, you can understand them. They're all mutually intelligible, right? We all have the same sort of, Bollywood common this thing and all of that. So yeah, absolutely. I think Pakistan memes are like a, gem.
The only thing I kind of found weird in the Asia Cup semi-final is that like the Sri Lanka team did not have to dance, dude. You will one by one run. Like
What
it's
are you
like,
saying? The dance was amazing. What
the
what are
dance
you
is
saying, dude?
no.
It
I'm
was
not.
made for social media. What are you
I am
saying?
not-
I'm not saying the dance is wrong. The dance is like by itself good. A great performance, whatever. It's fun to watch. But like it's like you respect the other team a little bit. Like if it's not a blowout. Okay, it's a one-run win. Like you thoda pull yourself back.
Because
You don't-
the closer the game is, the more the intensity of the Nagin dance. That's the time we live in, right? Like that's how this works.
Yeah, and we can't be celebration police. I mean, let people celebrate whatever. they want. It's-
Exactly.
No, you cannot be a celebration police until Ricky Ponting tries to push Sharad Pawar out of the podium, and then it becomes World War II or World War III.
Well, the Asia Cup was quite fun to watch. Final was like very clear mismatch, right? Between
Except the commentary. Not fun to listen to, for sure.
I watched it on mute, like
Oh,
so I was good. It wasn't that much of a problem, but it was a very there were two upsets that's the Thailand Pakistan game and the Pakistan India game. The Pakistan India game, I wouldn't call it an upset because Pakistan thoroughly outplayed. Like while I was watching the game, it was very clear Pakistan are winning from like maybe the fourth over of their first innings, because these are those like horrible Bangladesh pitches where like scoring even like 100 runs is like a very big deal, and like they managed 113-40, so that itself is like there was a winning total there. Okay, India has won it for the 8th time now out of 7. It's the
Seventh time
only
out of 8.
or 7th. Oh, sorry, my bad. It's very stats ko ratta nahi marte hai, nahi jamta mere ko. So it was expected India was going to win. In any case, it is the dominant side here. I just wish the final was a little more competitive at some level. The photo shoot that they did before the final in the tea gardens right behind the stadium. Apparently, like it's that tea garden has been around since the stadium has been around, but nobody has ever bothered to walk in there. So like just like these small moments coming out of the Asia Cup was like damn fun to see. But I just wish the teams are a lot more competitive. I think in a couple of years they will become. We are having more leagues coming in, apart from the women's Big Bash and like the domestic thing in England. So yeah, I think it'll be a lot more fun to watch in the coming years.
I think the big thing was that Pakistan's lost to Thailand, and that I guess set up everything quite badly.
It opened up properly, and like when I didn't expect Thailand to qualify, and then the UAE Bangladesh game got drained out. Like Bangladesh had just had to win that game as they would have. I feel like it's Thailand qualifying was like a surprise package, and hopefully like it does like it takes cricket forward there in like, because the people from Thailand do play that that 3-4 team tournament that they have before the IPL,
The Women's T20 Challenge.
Women's T20 Challenge, and you have players from Thailand playing there, and it's just good overall. And yeah, I hope it just gets more competitive. It's going to be fun. I read this one tweet which said that Jemima was benched all of 2018 and India lost, and she played every single game here, and she's the leading run scorer for India in this tournament. So good things only.
Yeah. I just one more thing to add. I think even though it was a super small target, Mandhana's batting in the final was just something else. I mean, she's definitely one of the best or most watchable left-handers across men's and women's cricket, and I mean, that innings was just something else. Maybe, I mean, the Sri Lankan bowling was something, they had given up or something. But I mean, nevertheless, it was just an amazing innings to watch.
I thought the real opponent for her was the pitch on the day, because it was like spitting, and it was some balls were keeping on the floor of the pitch, which you don't want to see in an international, but that really was the hardest part, because I think Jemima tried to walk down and got bowled because the ball never took off from the floor even, and Smriti was just handling it like she was on a different pitch completely.
Yep.
So you're saying she's the best left-hander since Ganguly, is it?
That's a very left-handed compliment.
Yeah.
Well left.
But speaking of memes and photo shoots, it's only apt to go to the virality emerging out of the photo shoot in Australia. I think there's an incredible video I watched of Babar Azam's birthday, which all the other captains are wishing right after the photo shoot. Zainab, do you want to talk us through that? It was amazing. Like, this is the kind of stuff that's been coming out of the last 2 World Cups, and it's obviously become a headline act before the tournament proper begins.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to think that, something like this can ever be done again. Like, this was pretty much a epic video, I think. And the person behind it, Ibrahim Badis, is the PCB social media manager, digital content creator. So he's been creating a lot of these kind of his ideas. Like, for example, one of the other videos that he did in the final moments of that tense Pakistan-Afghanistan match in the Asia Cup, he recorded the reactions of the Pakistani players in the dressing room.
Was that the one from the boundary line, or was it inside the...
It was inside the dressing room, right?
Okay.
So, and that was it was so relatable, because some of the players were acting like some people, Shadab was very nervous. Somebody was just praying. Somebody was walking and strolling. So every type of fan's coping mechanism was reflected. So it was, and generally I think it has his work has sort of humanized the players, and of course made them more accessible. But yeah, this is very well thought of and conceived. But this whole cake thing with Pakistani players is also it's become a meme or a comedy content of its own. Every series we have at least 2 or 3 cakes which are mandatory. Somebody's birthday, if nothing else, we just bring a cake and distribute it to the hotel staff, and we just love cake, right? So, and for Babar's birthday in particular, I think there were 3 cakes. So there was this one cake which he cut with the captains, and then I don't know how Finch has personally made a cake which he again gave to Babar during the ceremony where they were all seated on that stage. And there was another cake that he cut privately with the players, with the Pakistan team players. So, but this was probably the best one, because everyone was singing happy birthday. So it was I mean, the potential for memes out of this is it's going to be realized in due course of time. And, as the tournament progresses, and then we realize the kind of content this can lead to.
I think you're spot on with the fact that this is such a rare occasion. It's a World Cup in a southern hemisphere, which is why October 15th, and you have 16 captains around you singing happy birthday and everything. It's probably once in a career moment, given how many World Cups happen in the northern summer.
I'm just reminded of that. That distraught Pakistan fan after the India-Pakistan game in 2019 World Cup, right? Innu burger kha rahe,
Burger,
pizza kha rahe. This is going to be used. This is very clear. Yeah.
And he became he's he's an actor now. He got gigs in dramas and everything. He's a full celebrity now.
Wow. The same guy who did Maro Mujhe Maro, is it the same?
Yes.
Yeah, that guy.
Yes.
Okay.
He had a clip after the Asia Cup game also, right? When India lost to
but I don't think that was as funny. It looked forced.
It's just set up for memes, man. It's why are I get we have to be the teams are very aware of social media, and they want moment chahiye na har cheez pe. Come here, I need a candid shot, or no, put the cake again. I didn't get the shot right. Everybody has done that who has worked in social media. But the thing is, this is just being set up for memes. I want Pakistan to do well, but this is like you just like I'm just like looking forward to how it's going to turn out eventually.
There's a burger setup already happening there.
Yeah.
See, I think cause I think memes basically are the currency of cricket now. Just like in the 90s, there were guys with cell phones in Sharjah calling up people. Now there are guys with WhatsApp groups basically designing memes, like spot fixing, but for memes. It's like
Yeah, I mean, in 90s, currency was the currency of cricket, in Sharjah especially.
Oh wow! Oh my God!
Yeah.
No, so I read this tweet, which I related to a lot. There is this journalist on Twitter called Uday Rana who said about the whole photo shoot and then the Babar birthday celebration with the captain. Why does it look like they did the T20 World Cup captain's photo shoot at a family restaurant in Punjabi Bagh? You know, the kind where they give you soft with the bill and there's always a pan wala sitting outside.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh my God.
I mean, the Asia Cup clip that Zainab referred to actually reminded me of, I don't know, it wasn't during the match, but there's a documentary on YouTube on the 99 Pakistan tour to India, where obviously they won and they beat us heartbreakingly at Chennai. That is also a very nice documentary, very different era and not so much for social media. But yeah, I mean, inside the Park dressing room was a nice touch by the social media guy. Yeah,
Like we have seen photo shoots like this before, right? Even for the ODI World Cup, there was one. Like for the Asia Cup, for the T20 World Cup, I think the Dubai one, there was also another. It wasn't as much pomp and flair because everyone was trying to do social distancing and like they were trying to adhere to COVID norms or whatever. But I think this is the first. They did the mannequin challenge. Like I want like basically they like everyone knows what the mannequin challenge is. The problem is the mannequin challenge is like by itself a 4-year-old social media concept. Like thoda get with the times. It's like I think next they would have made someone do the Gangnam Style dance before you go and tell them, bro, it's been 10 years.
Ice bucket challenge.
Wait, so mannequin challenge is not, you're not talking about Rohit Sharma's new hair. I thought that is.
I thought we were talking about KL Rahul in every photo shoot.
But seriously, what is up with RoBro's crowning achievement? The new hair. Do we dare talk about it or?
The first thought I had was when Harsha had his hair implant. It looked like equally awkward, right? Because you used to see him with a half bald pate, and suddenly there's like some grasslands that have come up in those parts. So I just felt the same about Rohit, but a lot more artificial than that. That was
right. At least Harsha's looked a little bit like, okay, you know, if you didn't have the before picture with Harsha, you wouldn't really know. Yeah. With RoBro, it's almost like it looks like Rajnikant, dude. It looks like. Now, like the two remaining fans in Chennai are also going to come after us with like sticks. But yeah,
both stars no more. Yeah,
but it didn't look like it looks like he has perpetually got his, you know, when you wear your cap and like you go into a windy or sunny weather, then you take your cap off and then like there's an imprint, right? It looks like that, but without a helmet or a cap. So I don't know what is he trying to get there, but good for him, I guess. If this means he's going to become the top scorer of the tournament, who are we to say anything? There is a Samson hair Delilah joke to be made here, but Sanju Samson isn't playing, so like
and Tony is not here.
So let us not get into that.
Was it Sehwag who had a hair transplant somewhere towards the end of his career?
Yes,
and he said,
yes.
And he came up with a really funny quip at that point, if I remember right. He said, "Paisa to kamana hai," or something like that, right? And he justified it by saying, "Look, I don't care, you know, whether hair is going or not, or you know, gravity is helping an acceleration of that process."
I think hair on his head has never scared Sehwag. It's only grass on the pitch that has scared Sehwag ever. So
that's also a good segue to Ganguly, who also had some hair work
boss,
done.
What is not a good segue to Saurav Ganguly?
You can go from cycle agarbatti to real estate ads to anything. You can segue into Ganguly. Right?
Cycle gap agarbatti. Yeah.
Speaking of Ganguly and advertisements, I saw that ad. I'm forgetting the name of the banyan, but
even he has forgotten
I don't think he doesn't
forgotten it. He doesn't
It was
remember.
on the same day that we had that entire crowd problem in the game, and he was like, no comment on that. He just released his banyan ad, and I was like, wow, man.
The thing is, even he has forgotten the Bunyan ad, and I'm sure his social media team, which is probably a cousin sitting somewhere, has also forgotten the ad. I mean, it's so poorly managed.
It's a story of vested interest, Zainab.
Oh,
Amazing.
nice. My prediction is Butler is going to get run out at the non-strikers end in every match.
That is going to be epic.
Every single match is going to happen now. Like, how many warnings does one person need?
He's already seemed to have given the warning, right? He said, I'm not Deepthi, but you can't keep doing this or something like that.
But Finch said he doesn't like, he wants, make up your mind, man.
Zainab, did it happen in the Asia Cup also? So I think some Sri Lankan bowler decided to not do the run out.
But there was a really interesting piece on the ICC website. Obviously, it was like a standard edition listicle which said the 5 changes to playing conditions at the T20 World Cup. And they actually went and called out England in it, which was pretty nice. So the debate around Deepthi Sharma's run out of Charlie Dean during India's tour of England last month has thrown the spotlight on the law, with a number of England men's players declaring that they won't attempt a dismissal. To the letter of the law, England in this instance would be effectively conferring a competitive advantage on the opposition.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
Say it like it is, and don't refer to some MCC laws or anything. Just stand up for yourself because it's your tournament. So at least like ICC are owning up for once and saying and calling it out.
No. The next step, the transferring competitive advantage to the opposition is the first step. The next step would be to say that they're actually tanking the game.
No, I think we're just starting to realize how situationally unaware Josh Butler is. Like, generally he can play when he's facing the ball. That's it. Like, beyond that, he has zero match awareness. Like, there was this instance where Matthew Wade literally tackled Mark Wood as he was trying to attempt a catch, and Butler is like, I did not see the incident. Like, what? You're the captain of the team. Like,
and the keeper.
I was ball watching.
He was the best.
He was ball watching. How can, like, I think that kind of explains the number of times he doesn't, like, he backs out of the, like, he doesn't back into the crease enough because he's just not aware. Like, it's kind of apparent now. If you just run him out in every game, and that's it. Enough.
I think because this World Cup is being held in Australia as a tribute, Mohan, am I right? Australia has some form of compulsory voting, right? People are forced to go and vote.
Not some form.
Yeah,
you get fined if you don't get.
Right, you get fined. So I think the ICC should basically put compulsory run out at non-striker end. Every time you leave, the umpire itself will remove the wheels and say, okay, go on your way. Like, no appealing, no honor of the sport, spirit of the sport bullshit. The umpire itself like gets you out and you go back. What is this rubbish? Like, which is still talking about this.
This is nonsense.
So the incident I was referring to was a UAE leg spinner, Vaishnavi Mahesh, who attempted to run out a Sri Lankan batter at the non-strikers end, but was unsuccessful. And this was, I think, the opening match itself of the Asia Cup.
It was awarded as a no ball, right? Because of that, I think.
Oh, okay. That I don't know.
I'm not sure. I think that was the way it went about. This is just like a ploy by big media in Australia to divert people's attention from the fact that Australia lost the series, and it was nearly going to be a whitewash, and that did not happen. So Stark also, big brain moment. He's like, you know what? I'll divert attention from my captain Finch, and I will try and give Butler a warning, because Australia are in shambles. Like, they have not figured out what their 11 is. I think they're waiting for climate change to take over and all their matches will get rained out.
but hang on.
They anyway don't have green in the squad, so yeah, climate change might come to rescue.
Wow. Well played, Chops. Well played. My God.
Okay, but even in the last T20, right? They were not in great shape, and somehow in the last game, if I remember right, Matthew Wade and Mitch Marsh, was it? From nowhere, they came in and scored some massive runs.
Hank, that's literally how they won the World Cup last time, right? Like, this was exactly the narrative. Obviously, it was worse and everything. Like, they're not even a T20 side and whatever. and now they're playing at home. So I refuse to discount them to any degree. Like and we have a Pakistan fan on the pod, and she knows this better than anybody else, right? Like it's just crazy what Australia do to your head, both before the tournament and then during. At some stage, you just realize this is happening again and again and again.
Yeah.
Frankly, I don't believe Australia's got the team, but I'm not willing to write them off just on the basis of what happened in the last few episodes of this tournament.
We should go to predictions, but I think by the time we get into the next episode, India Pakistan would be over, so we should talk about it. I think it's next Sunday.
I'm at the game, so I'll send some pictures from
you. Please send audio as well.
At the ground.
I think we start with Zainab, because I think there's been a lot of Pakistan T20s in the last month. 11, 12 games. You've just won a tri-series in New Zealand, the Bangla Wash series, famously, where Bangla got washed 4-0 in all the league phase games. How are we feeling overall? Obviously, there's the Rizwan Babar chat, but overall about the team, is Shaheen going to play full tilt?
Well, yeah, we have been like playing too much, like you said. I think originally England were supposed to play 5, but Rami is because he thinks he's so smart. He managed to convince them to play 2 extra games, and then I don't know why we decided that we needed to play this series. And at the start of the series, actually, Hasnain, who's one of the quicks, he also got sick. So I was like, we should just forfeit, man. We're losing players. We should, pick up some random Pakistani expatriates in New Zealand and ask them to face. And we have 2 warm-up games again coming up, like almost back to back. So I was like, we should call them like burnout games instead of warm-up games. But this side, like if you ignore the Asia Cup loss, semi-final loss, and the World Cup semi-final loss, it's like quite a settled side now. And I guess it's unlike the sides of the past where, we really relied a lot on like 1 or 2 players. It has more than one match winner. Even though it might seem like if Babar and Rizwan get out, we don't have a middle order. But if we send Shadab and Nawaz correctly, which we have done in this Bangla Wash series, finally Saqlain and Mushtaq and Babar himself, I think he was the one who didn't trust these guys enough. Maybe that's my reasoning. So when we use these guys right, I think we can put something of a decent total. We're always going to, with our approach, we're always going to be either just par or below par. But we've got like a good bowling attack. And I worry whether Shaheen will be undercooked. He's going to come and say, he has been, according to the official records, like been bowling for like full pace for a few weeks now, but there's nothing like match practice. So we'll find out how the injury has impacted him in terms of his pace or his effectiveness once we get to see him. But in his absence, Naseem really stepped up to the mark, and I don't think we'll go for 4 pace options. So we might not see Wasim Jr., but he also has pace. And I feel good about our bowlings. And India don't have Bumrah, so
and Shami has bowled less than Shaheen. That is another. We've got a replacement who's just been announced 2 days ago.
It's coming cold.
That's true. And the last time India and Pakistan faced off each other, I genuinely felt like our spinners were better or outbowled if we don't go in like specifics of skills and something. But Shadab was clearly bowling better than Chahal. So I feel okay about the bowling. But the batting is always, I mean, it's like it's become this thing where, with Babar and Rizwan, it's become a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if they don't bat sensibly, then what happens is that the rest of the team collapses, and if they do bat sensibly, then they take so much time that the rest of the middle order doesn't have. They have to go out and attack on everything, so they fail.
And even when a Nawaz clicks and wins you a game, Rizwan gets man of the match. That on top of everything else.
So I mean, like that one really, like even Rizwan said in the when he was accepting that Nawaz really set up the match. But yeah, now I think he's only one or maybe two man of the matches away from the most man of the match awards for Pakistan. So
Yeah.
But don't worry, we have a similar player in the Indian team. He's called KL Rahul. He accepts an award and he says, "I don't know why I'm getting the award. It should have gone to someone else." I think it was Sky last time. So Kaustubh, this was your cue, man, to jump in.
No, man. Like the thing is, both teams chase very well, but they don't know how to set a total at all. So it will come down to the toss again, I feel. And the team that's going to chase is going to win. But I honestly, people have been looking up weather forecasts for the last week or so about like how this is going to pan out, and everyone is predicting a washout on Sunday. It is not even the first game of the tournament, right? Like Saturday is again like last time. Saturday is the first game of the tournament. But New Zealand, Australia, no?
Yeah.
New Zealand, Australia.
Very like this spot to preview a game that's not going to happen. That's amazing.
I have if I don't know if I'm speaking for every other Indian fan, but I have absolutely no hope. Like it's if this team manages to even make it to the semi-final, that's enough. Like how that amazing Saklan Mushtaq Kudrat ka Nizam type, something or the other will happen. We'll make it if India make it to the semis. It's a very big deal. If they don't, almost everybody has written this team off.
So India's
Right.
got two warm-up games against Australia, I think, tomorrow,
And New Zealand.
and New Zealand on Wednesday. And it really depends on how they put the warm-up game, the lead-up games haven't really helped too much in terms of finalizing what the final look is going to be.
These are the only games in
and
the Gabba, no, for India?
Both of them are at the Gabba, yeah, I think so. Definitely the Australia one is the Australia game is at the Gabba. But yeah, I don't think there's any settled look to the side and so on. So there are problems aplenty for the India for the India team. I just looked up the weather for the next weekend. Both days are 80% chance of rain, because it's too early to say, but 80% chance of rain both Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, who knows?
Very, very likely for a World Cup in Australia to be affected by rain so much. So yeah, good signs there for history to repeat itself. 22 of 1
92
required
में भी
at the
ऐसे ही
last
हुआ
ball.
था.
Exactly. We can start that early this time, Zainab. We went till game 4 of the 2019 World Cup to make those parallels. Now we can start before the tournament.
You haven't seen the meme? There's already people have made
Already?
it out of like there's a picture of like the captain sitting the photo shoot in 92 and they've somehow said, oh look, these four captains are sitting in the same order or something.
Oh my God.
So it's already started.
Yeah.
So Pakistan are playing a little too much cricket, but they know who their 11 is going to be. India also is kind of more or less the same. It's not like anybody needs game time per se. They just played last week. So I hope the match happens, and I hope KL Rahul can face at least like 10 balls of Shaheen Afridi. Like just face 10 balls, man. That's it. KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma just last it out. It's okay. Don't fold in the first over. That you start there. If that happens, then good. It's going to be a decent game.
Only then you get your next Red Bull ad. That's the rule.
Wow. As despondent, Cause is as despondent as KL Rahul in every picture.
No, but I also think they put too much emphasis on Bumrah that way. In like this, if Bumrah comes back, it doesn't magically fix everything in this team, right? Like it's still like the bowling is still suspect at the death, and Bumrah has not been at his best for the last, like after the barring I think the England ODI series, he has not been like firing all cylinders, so as to speak. It's been a while. He's been having niggles the whole time, and I think Ashdeep and Harsha will come good. We're just like making too many memes around them about like, oh, Harsha scored his first 50 or like conceded 54 runs in some Western Australia warm-up game. They're also playing extra warm-up games to warm up to the warm-up games, right? So it's I have no hope purely because I want to be surprised, and if India do well, it's going to be great. So
Man, I'm just hoping Ashdeep does really well, because the guy, he copped unfair share of flack after just that one drop catch in a game.
Yep.
So really hope he comes good for India.
the one thing I will say is that Arshdeep in the entire bowling lot is the only bowler, if I'm not mistaken, who's under 30 years old. With Shami coming in at 32 years old, and Harshal, if I remember
Harshal
right,
is 30.
30.
Harshal is 30.
Harshal
Yeah.
is 31 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and Ashwin is what, 52 or something like that. So he you know,
Ashwin
Arshdeep would be the only.
Ashwin is 700,000 subscribers. That is his.
Yes, exactly. The right number. And no, the 52 was 52 episodes of Punniyin Selvan. So
Angaru Bhumi.
So, but if I'm not mistaken, of course, you can count Hardik Pandya at who's 20, 26 or 27, 28 as a bowler. But if you look at the bowling lot, Bhuvi is 34, 32, something like that. So anyway,
I mean, whatever little I've seen of cricket in Australia in either the BBL or even the match today, for example, I just hope India doesn't leave Ashwin out of the bowling attack too often, because they do all of this matchup scene very, very strictly these days almost. So yeah, I think he's going to be a handful if they give him enough games.
Quick round of predictions, knowing they're not going to meet a lot because Namibia are currently smashing Sri Lanka in the first game of the World Cup. So where are we at? I'll start with a very easy one. I think Australia defend this one pretty easy at home.
I wouldn't be surprised if England, provided they don't run themselves out constantly, I wouldn't be surprised if England's also there.
No, I just said that, right? Like, my prediction is Butler is going to be run out in every single game at the non-strikers end. I don't care who wins the World Cup. That's fine. I want that to happen.
I'd say India will make the semis, but not the finals.
Rain supporting.
I don't know if I actually have a prediction. All I'm hoping for is nice kits in the semi-final. This is my own take. New Zealand, Zimbabwe, and Sri Lanka. I think those are the top 3 kits for me. And I hope we get to see more of those kids playing, right? And maybe New Zealand. Sri Lanka, of course, now we don't even know if they're going to end up in the...
By next episode, they're out on the flight back home.
But
Wow, Tony is away
but
and
Krt, new nice fellows have nice kids, right?
That's right. Yeah. So no. So for me, I think I want New Zealand to get rid of the jinx riding on their heads. I want them to win a tournament in Australia. I want them to win a World Cup in Australia. I want them to beat Australia in a final in the MCG in Australia. If for nobody else, then for Martin Crowe. May his long departed soul rest in peace.
Well played by me. I got you to say this. That's cool.
I know. It's like I am your agent for today. But yeah, so let's see.
Yeah, but Pak has a pretty snazzy kit this time, right? I mean,
they do. I actually like the Pakistan kit. Yeah.
I like the kit, but I miss the green. That's my it's nice, but
I know
it just I don't feel like it's a Pakistan kit. Somehow.
Yeah, it's a watermelon kind of green.
If you look at it at the right angle, it looks some shade of green. So I don't know if this is a sign of me getting like old or something, but every time I look at like some guy with someone, it looks like one color, like a shade of teal or some shade of blue on some player and under certain lights, but then it looks totally different under another light. So it's like a
the kit also
kind
behaves. The kit also behaves differently under lights.
Yeah.
It has as much green as the pitch. It'll keep changing. It'll look at the pitch and like you don't need to do a pitch report. You need to look at the jersey.
It definitely has more green than the Australian squad. So
yeah.
Zainab, 92.
Zainab.
No, I'm like, if I say it, then it won't happen. I'm very superstitious, so I won't predict that Pakistan will win. I hope Australia don't. I'll name the teams that I don't want to win. That's easier.
Okay, that's a good
I
one.
hope England don't win. I hope Australia don't win. I hope India don't win. Anyone else I'm okay with.
England. I hope England don't win it's like the motto of the sport. It's kind of tattooed across the faces of this group.
Anyone but England.
Anyone but England. Alternate tagline. Just one more breaking news coming in from Ganguly, since we segued into...
Yeah, we didn't talk about Dada. We need to talk about Dada.
Yeah, we spoke about him so many times, but we didn't speak about him. So yeah, the latest piece of news is that after being ousted from BCCI, he's going to now run for the West Bengal Cricket Association.
I find
presidentships.
that crazy. Who would do that? I mean, who it's like a step down from
No,
from
it's
doing
not. It's not
something.
a step down in the
Power
press
equation.
release. In the press release, around when that announcement came in that Binny might be taking over, right? He said, "I'm going to move on to do bigger things."
Yeah.
This is the bigger thing.
Next brand endorsement is with Uber and Ola because he's becoming Cab Association president.
I just opened his Twitter because it's important to set the record straight. The Banyan brand was Lux Cozy.
Lux Cozy, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he'll feel the coziest in his home state. So yeah, I mean, just follows. But yeah, interesting times ahead for the BCCI. I mean, with the Srinivasan set of guys coming back to par, and there being heavy nepotism in the setup this time. It's going to be interesting times for BCCI. But when has that not been the case? So yeah.
I was going to say that. When has it not been interesting times for the BCCI? Cool. Sounds like as good a time as any to finish off another episode of Bits and Pieces. If you've stuck with us for this long and heard all the rants about KL Rahul, all the stories about the memes and Babar Azam's birthday video, thanks for joining and say bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
And
I'll join in from the MCG next weekend this time.
And we look forward to a rain-free MCG this time of the week next time. Until next time, thanks everyone, and look forward to hearing you again.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review. Can we rock and roll, please?